There we go. All that technology, and I'm still not sure what I'm doing. All right. Can everybody hear me? Hi, Laura. Hi, Ricky. Ricky's shaking his head no. Can someone say something? I know Adam doesn't have a mic.
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Okay, I didn't hear Ricky's thing there, so you might need to check that out. All right. People are hearing me. I'm seeing my little meter going here. All right. I apologize for being so rough and unprepared this week, but it's been a fun one. Running a business is loads of fun. We have someone using bad credit cards on our system to test out whether they can use a credit card. And I've been scrambling, trying to tighten down on our fraud alerts and other stuff. It's no fun when you lose $300-400 to these scammers because the credit card companies come back and take it from us if it was fraud. So it's loads of fun, just part of being a business person. Does anyone have any questions about their machines, any issues they're having right now before I talk about some of the things I've covered this week?
Yes, Paul, I put it on the forum, but can you tell us how you fix an overshooting needle?
An overshooting needle on which machine?
Amara 20.
Update the firmware.
It's all update. Well, as far as I'm aware, everything is up to date.
So check your firmware because the overshooting needle on some of these machines, how old is your machine?
2 years.
Okay, right about 2 years. COVID time, they started switching parts. And long story short, the needle wasn't being stopped as firmly after a long run, and that it caused an overshoot. They tried a couple times, but the current version, I'm going to Handy Quilter's straight site, handyquilter.com, going under machines, resources, machine software updates, Amara. Okay, version 4.85 was released in November, and if you didn't hear me venting a couple weeks before, they didn't inform me about it, and I ended up finding some other bugs that they eventually told me were fixed by this. One of them is the overshooting.
I updated it to that a couple of weeks back, and it's still overshooting.
My next step has always been to replace the motor driver board. However, you can talk to him. You're still under warranty. I don't know how you get warranty parts. I know you're down under. Have you overshot where it's actually stuck into the quilt, or is it just stopping low?
It just stops low. To the extent that sometimes it's that low that the needle touches the fabric. When you move the head, or when you move the machine, it scratches.
So there also was an issue about the same time. Yeah, Adam, if you want to come in here, you can. I'll let you in. His microphone's not working out there. So the other thing that happened about the same time is they had somebody on the floor that was not screwing the needle position sensor on the upper shaft on the flat. There's the top shaft has a flat on it and back. There's a metal disc with some notches in it. And if you screw, hold on, I think I locked them out. I locked them out. Yes. Oh, we're coming back. Gotta be careful. This cat follows me everywhere. Okay, so there is a potential, and the only way to check this is to open the machine. But if that was not positioned properly on the flat and is slightly askew, that could lead to this problem. It's a long shot, but we did see that on one or two where we documented that it was assembled improperly. But did this just start happening? You've had it for 2 years.
No, it's been like that right from the start.
Maybe
So
I'm thinking the motor driver board.
485. If she
Well, she put
updated-
485 on there though, and it
and
didn't fix
it's
it.
not, so then it would probably be the board would be the next thing to do. Because
Yeah,
we've run
so-
into that multiple times. There's a board issue.
So, yeah, we'd have to look at the parts because there's literally Chinese and Taiwanese driver parts, those 6 transistors that are pressed up against the machine inside as heat sinks. Those were swapped out, and that's what ran into some of the problems that they've tried to tweak it for. So, I mean, we can send you a board to try and try and select the right board, but now we're dealing with shipping and
Yeah.
do you have a retailer locally there that
Yeah.
can get parts?
Yeah, well, yes. He charges like a wounded bull, but yes, I do.
So yeah, we documented that pretty well. Now we'd see it after you do like a 12-foot edge to edge where the motor's been running a long time,
Mhm.
and then it would really be bad versus if you just turned your machine on, it wouldn't be as bad. Do you see any of that?
No, it's continuous. Even if you just do one needle up, needle down, it just goes.
You may have a you may just have your I'll try and pull it up while we talk here, but this is a good thing because I do think
Y'all should set up a video conference so you don't.
yeah, I mean I could do a video with you and look at your machine if you can crack it open, but I'm just going to the service manuals right now for a handy quilter for an Amara, which I have multiple places, but I should know better. Service manuals, there we go. Make sure I get the latest one. All right, gonna share. I'll try sharing just the window because I think I can size it better than for you guys. I must have had it open. All right, let's see. I don't like the fact that it's flickering on my screen. I don't know if it's flickering on yours. All right. So let's see if I can just find this in here. Oh, look at that right there. Boom. All right. This is your needle position sensor. You see how, and I apologize, my alien dog is hacking in the background. You can see this is the upper shaft, the belt goes over it. The communications board has a little sensor here with an optical sensor. When the metal part of this blocks the sensor, it knows where it is. And when you do your first needle up, needle down, it's looking for that edge of the sensor there. So what we have found is there is a flat part cut into this. And if it's not set to the flat, it can be skewed off by a 1/4 inch. You will see what Bernadette is seeing as well. So
Okay.
that's the only two, and I know Adam's here, he's got a better memory than me, but I think that's the only dragging needle situations we ran into. The only other time was it was getting knocked out of time because thread had gotten wrapped around the
Still remember one I remember.
and jammed that one up. So okay.
No, that's never happened.
So yeah, just to bring that up too, I had a customer call and they said I had a thread break and the top thread got sucked into my machine and I couldn't get to it. Now it's wound around and it gets wound around the pivot in the front part here. I'll see if I can find a better picture of that. I've had reports too from Georgia, one of my well-versed mentors, and okay, these are all, like I said, if you don't have your manual pulled down, please pull down your manual. Okay, so here's a good picture. The thread will usually get wrapped around this area, and there's a cage bearing in there. And it's gotten wrapped around so much that in our own shop, because they're running multiple machines, they didn't notice the thread break. So a lot of thread got wrapped in there. Now, if you have your thread break sensor on and your top thread breaks, your machine should shut down, but a lot of people turn off their thread break sensor. We started using them more in the shop because of this. What happened was the thread wrapped around, not only jammed up the machine, which caused the belt to jump, but thread actually got down into the cage bearing that is in here. There's two cage bearings, one in here and one inside the pivot tube. Now, when we do our group maintenance on this, this is not something normally they show even default technicians. And I only recommend doing it every 50 million stitches, so maybe twice in the life of a machine. You can take this apart, and we would do that together during that as well. I will put a special video out there, but it's not something you do every time you lube the machine. But this is like a reverse threaded thread, cage bearings in there that they will tell you to try and force grease into through this hole up here, number 4.
Such a pain in the butt. It never works.
Yeah, quote from Adam, pain in the butt, and it almost never works. Okay. But that being said, it's not something that I've seen damage to the bearings, but around 50 million, that is something that I do. And we do it. We tend to do it when we service our machines.
I do it every service
I know,
because
we're
I don't know
special.
what it looks like unless they were here last. And
Yeah, we like to do the full service there, but it is one of those things where you can, if you don't get things tightened together back on the flat, your machine, you're going to know you have problems because things run into each other. But it can be a little challenging if you're not trained on how to get that back in there. So, all right. So we talked a little bit about the needle overshooting. Bernadette, have you opened your machine yet on your own?
No, done there.
Okay. Bernadette, you are a member. You can book time, hopefully not in the next 2 weeks, because with Daytona and this other one, maybe 3 weeks out. I will, Sammy, I will get up at any time of the night. That makes it easy for you because I want you sharp.
No, 5 o'clock's fine.
We can get you set up like you're doing now. I can talk you through it, getting in and out. We've got the video online on how to open the machine. You know, we can do that if you want to look at that, because I'm really leaning towards the configuration issue of the machine. If it's been that way the whole time. All right. So the other, what's Paul been working on, we have had a couple issues where tightening the belt was the only way to keep timing. Timing would slip after setting the timing. I think I mentioned this last week. So knowing how to adjust your timing belt and tighten it up a little bit. Some play gets involved here, I guess, over time, but that's something to watch if your timing doesn't stick. I'm dealing with a Fusion right now that keeps losing power. And that's a new thing because she had an encoder issue, which we were able to fix, but she must have a loose wire. And that's why we have the Fusion manual up here as well. This, I think you can understand where on the older Fusions where a loose wire might come in when you have all these thread or screw in. Oh, excuse me, wires here. So we're dealing with an issue that we can open it up, we can get it working, And after a row or two, the power won't come on. And this is a power supply on the other side. There's a pink thermal, I call it a blanket, a little plastic thing over that conducts heat because the heat of the power supply is transferred to the case. But in a Gen 1, you didn't have some of these other features. So that's something we're dealing with. I found out that you can replace most of these wire cables for $150. I think instead of her trying to ship this around and do a lot of other stuff, I'm just going to order all the cables, send them to her, and see if she wants to swap them out with her husband's, because we did a session on that. Any questions on that? I assume everyone has their service manuals downloaded. I think that's going to be my #1 question for all of this, because there's nothing more helpful than to have a reference. And you heard me mention that Fusion's had 3 different versions, and the lower half of this manual starts talking about features of the power supply that only exists in the later versions. Okay. Like the early ones didn't have switches underneath the front of the handlebars. You know, how to test for certain things, chirping, fuses. Here again, looking at this picture here, you have another needle position sensor. In this case, it was a plastic disc with an optical sensor with a little reversed F board, as I called it. Okay. So these machines may have matured, but they have basically the same functions and things in there. All right. No other questions. I'm really here for Q&A, and I'll try and come up with some interesting things as time permits.
Yeah, I had another one, Paul. I'm sorry.
All right, let's go, Bernadette.
Okay, it's not machine related as such, but I got myself a tiny little Bluetooth keyboard, which I want to actually attach to the tablet, the Chewy tablet. Now, I can quite easily attach it to my normal tablet. No dramas at all. To the Chewy tablet, I cannot attach it. Do you know if Handy Quilter has switched something off? It says Bluetooth is enabled, but it will not see the keyboard.
So when you go under the hardware on a Chewy, and I don't know if Adam's tried to look at this, I don't know 100% whether it's actually got a Bluetooth antenna in the Chewy. The OS may say it's enabled, but does the hardware really show up there? And I do not have a Chewy to try, but
as within a split second, it just says can't censor it. It doesn't seem to even try. Yeah, it doesn't take a second to say no.
Did I hear a hand go up somewhere? Oh, I saw a chat came in. Okay, down here. Did your keyboard come with a dongle?
No. That's why. No, the dongle keyboard. Well, the dongle, the little tiny little nippy thing. I can do that. That's not a problem.
Come on in. So.
Yeah, I'll get it off the machine and I'll show you what that little thing is.
It's not. Well, how come I can't get it?
I don't know. It just doesn't like you.
Fair enough.
Well, then it wasn't locked before. Oh, great. He broke my doorknob. Doesn't work.
Well, it doesn't open from this side without having the code. That's why.
We will talk, but
Yeah.
it's just like,
Okay, this little thingy, if you put a keyboard in with one of these little thingies, works perfect. But it's a whopping big keyboard, right?
Yeah. That is not a Bluetooth interface.
That's correct. That's correct. So now I'm trying to do a Bluetooth one, which is this little thingy, which just has got an on and off switch, and it can pair up 3 different devices to the keyboard.
All right, so I am trying to. I'm not getting what I want here. Hold on. The tap. Settings. Okay, devices. Oh, okay, I'm looking at it. I want to get to the underlying hardware manager, which usually you can get to by oh, there we go. So once I opened the menu and then held my finger down on the
I can't see.
Yeah, I can see enough of the screen that I can say that's where I went as well.
the quarter. So if I go to
Add
device
device.
manager,
Yeah.
and I know the stuff to see from there, but okay, so there is a Bluetooth.
Yep.
Under this one says it has an Intel wireless Bluetooth.
Oh.
I go to properties. It says the device is working properly.
Is that what hers said?
Do I have a Bluetooth? Go in the cabinet in our kitchen. There's 2 mice in there. I think one of them may be Bluetooth. They're in a box. In our kitchen is where office supplies are, so it is what it is. We aren't shy about sharing here. Okay. So this should pick up a Bluetooth device because it's operating. Now, Bernadette, have you ever taken yourself to 737 and upgraded your operating system on the
Yes.
Chewy?
Yes, I'm pretty
Or are
sure
you
I'm.
on 537?
No, I'm 537. I've never tried to go to connect.
Okay, that's the difference here. You don't even have a network driver for your network device on the Chewy unless you go to 737 and do the pre-install that comes with it. That installs additional drivers to the operating system.
Okay. Okay.
So I would suggest that you load 737,
Yeah.
spend 2 to 3 hours letting the OS update and reboot and update and reboot, get it up there.
Yeah. And then
My
roll it back.
downgrade video.
None of these are Bluetooth.
That's okay. I figured out what the problem is, I think. It makes sense though, because this one clearly has it here. The short version is if you go follow the online video of how to downgrade.
Yeah, I've watched it.
That includes the upgrade. You don't need to watch everything I did there, but it goes through the whole thing.
Yep.
We put a shortcut on there. We disable the Wi-Fi and take it back to 537, but I like having the ability to turn on the Wi-Fi if I need to, even at 537. Because if you put my Splashtop agent that I use to support people on their laptop, I can also get to this to support them on their tablet. So when you look at how we build these out now, we have a Splashtop icon.
Yeah, I saw how you did that. Yeah.
Okay, so and also the Adam, hold on. Okay, we're not hyper around here. Not too much caffeine whatsoever. But the NCPL network control panel window is the exact same thing that 737 calls up when you touch and hold the Wi-Fi symbol in ProStitcher. So we put it on there. So this one actually has Wi-Fi enabled right now. And we can disable the network device. And now it's off. All right. And then we close it up. So thank you, sir. I do think that it's a driver issue.
Okay. Well, I'll try it and I'll let you know on the next meeting.
Okay, so let's talk about the next meeting here. What time is it where you're at, Bernadette?
5 in the morning. Well, that's when you start.
That's
So
what
it's
I
now
said.
10 to 6.
So later in the day for you makes it a little bit better.
Oh, I don't mind 5.
Okay, well,
Honestly, we normally get up at 6, so 1 hour early, it doesn't make no difference.
okay, well, Melissa and other people can give feedback here too. Melissa does her Q&As at about 6:30 p.m. Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
We have a show this week, and they go right through Sunday. We hate that, but Saturday and Sunday, we'll be breaking down on Sunday. But on Saturday, we could do one in the evening. And I know that's not even a full week right now. The following week, we have Monday and Tuesday. And Tuesday, we're going to be packing up to go to Daytona, which is 3 to 4 hours across the state, to do a national show. And we will be breaking down on Sunday morning, I think. No, I think it goes through Sunday there too. Anyways, it's going to be a long week, and I'm not sure I'm going to have internet or be able to do anything that week. I might do some silly stuff from Daytona with Melissa, but I don't want to put you guys out too. So does Saturday evening late? I mean, we can just record it. I'm interested in seeing what's going on. I'll come up with something short for the YouTube portion, but we can definitely meet. I'm thinking something like even 8:00 p.m. Eastern. For any West Coast people, that brings you back into some civilized time frame as well. But is Saturday night a bad time for people?
Not for me.
Laura, your lips are moving, but I haven't heard you because you're muted.
I'm fine.
We can record it either way. So I'm thinking something Saturday night. I'll have gotten back from the show in Pasco County, since it's local. We'd be back home and I could do something then. Paco's flashing a thumb because she's West Coast person. I'm sure she doesn't mind that, but that's good. Like to have her along. All right. So I'm gonna try and do an 8:00. Anyone have any ideas on, the topics? For me, like I said, I'm trying to do some troubleshooting, some general topics to draw people to our YouTube page. But what do you want to see me do to talk about, get in more detail? I do want to get this more structured and focused, that on this, at least a couple weeks out, you'll know what I'm covering topic-wise.
Well, I like to see the loop and grease thing.
Okay. And I need to do that anyways, because my previous video has gone wandering off. What I was thinking, maybe I can do the video there internally here, and then we can have like I said, a late March group servicing where when it comes to time doing the cage bearings, people will be able to do it together. Might be fun. All right. So for the people that, now that I've remembered to record this and I can actually post one of these, I'm hoping that other members, we are up to about 20 members so far for MOTT, which I think is pretty good. We had 160 that had original interest a year ago, and I know the prices. Okay, I used to feel bad about the price being a little steep, but I just got back from the dentist with Melissa, and they charged us $100 to sit in the chair for 30 minutes. So I'm a little. I think I give a little bit more value than that, but I want to keep the content coming and the value coming here, because you guys have committed a lot to me, and I do recognize that as things go. What else did we have happen this week, Adam? Did we have anything interesting?
There's always some interesting stuff going on.
Yeah. Nice thing is I can pitch some stuff over to Adam and just he takes care of it.
I'm gonna make
We
some of
had
those videos for the cylinder, the height, needle bar.
Oh,
height.
needle bar height. Yes, I've assigned him that. That will be a good topic for us to talk about.
I'd like to have that done, but I don't know even where to start on that. So I'm working on that right now.
He's a newbie video guy in training, but maybe while I'm gone, he'll get more done without me being around telling him to do things. But what that is, and actually in the manual, you'll see they use this needle bar height tool. I don't know if it's worth going. Anyways, long story short, you've got to take the hook and basket off to do that. And every time I've used it, I've eyeballed it and had better success. But he's going to prove me wrong. He's going to show me both the one method and, you know, if you look at your timing stuff, and I will pull this up as our closing topic here, from a timing perspective, let me jump down to the famous picture. Okay. They actually have it. Needle bar. There we go. Okay. This is probably a 15-year-old picture here. I'm going to share this real quick. Share window. There we go. I think they've used the same picture. Okay. So I know it might be a little hard for you guys to see. And for those of you in Google Meet that want a little hint, if you hit your three dots, you go to change layout and choose spotlight. It will give the majority of the screen to whatever's being shared. Okay, and I do that sometimes just because I don't need to see all the people boxes and things, but that's one way to get a bigger view. But right here, you can see that there's supposed to be a 1 millimeter gap from the top of the needle eye to the bottom of the hook point. Okay. The needle height normally doesn't go out without a major incident, a major strike, which is what they've said in training. So most of the time you don't worry about it. However, when Adam and I get involved,
It becomes first.
it's usually a problem because they've tried timing it, couldn't get it to work, still shredding, and you find out the needle height is a little off. This can also happen if you're not using the right needles because the length of the needle might be wrong, but that's pretty rare. So getting this position on the thing is a little bit of a challenge because it should be done with the machine closed, but you're basically going in after a screw, and that varies on machines, and loosening it up and raising and lowering the needle bar in the head assembly. That's something we will cover in greater detail. It was going to be a topic for today. Adam, we're going to talk about head assemblies.
No,
the needle bar.
I know nothing of the sort.
No, so if you have a machine that has 150 million stitches on it,
You're going to want to see that one.
Or even 100. Melissa did hers at 92 million. Okay.
52 million. We had one recently.
Well, yeah, and that's an outlier there, but at 52 million.
She bought it at 48,000, and within less than a year, she's at 52 million.
Did she have it serviced though every couple of years?
Well, she bought it. No, she bought it from us, and it was good to go at 48,000.
Okay, are you saying 1,000 or million?
I said 48,000.
Okay.
And then after
So she
year,
put
she
50 million.
She put 50 million on it, just like our woman in Claremont did.
So the challenge with that was if your bearing starts to wear out, your needle gets a little bit more play, you start to run to shredding. But I tell you, if you take a machine that's 100 million stitches and you replace or rebuild that head assembly, which how much was Handy Quilter charging us? $300-400 or $200? I mean, you could replace the whole head assembly, and it's like replacing the brand new engine in your car, or transmission if you want to. It runs beautifully, and it's one of those inexpensive ways to put new life in a used machine. Okay, so we have taken in some very old Fusions with this problem and put new head assemblies in them, and they're beautiful. So that's something we'll talk more about. Any other questions? Let's see what the chat has. Ricky, go ahead. What's up?
For us guys and gals have been around for a long time, since even the preliminary. I know we're on a trial period right now, but will we be notified when we need to sign up formally as far as being charged for it after the 2 months or whatever you decide you're going to allow us?
Okay, so I gave a small number of people that wanted to, like, until what, February, March. I think maybe I put it out to March 15th. To be quite honest, I don't remember. When it comes up, you can subscribe through the normal processes, and I appreciate that. But yeah, some of you have just been very, very helpful. So I threw out some free time on there. But you might, I'll have to look at Judy, you're on vacation, so I don't expect you to pop up, but this is a university issue. I'm assuming the university sends out an email saying your subscription's expiring, but to be honest, I don't even know. I haven't gotten into that.
That would be great if it did, because
We'll
I
look
hate to
into that.
throw us off.
Yeah, they're
We're looking-
requesting a notification. That's simple.
We're looking into that, and you think it would. I know manually we're going through and reminding people when their premium stuff is coming out. I see Laura putting thumbs up. That's good. I do not believe they're going to QuiltCom as they will be in Daytona. Okay. That must have been a quilt. Oh yeah, okay. Are we going to QuiltCon? No, because it runs the same time as Daytona. Okay. So I guarantee if you come to Daytona, you're not going to miss us. Melissa pulled off a little bit of a coup, and I've even told Handy Quilter, I've shown him the signs we're doing, because we can't sell machines, but you're going to walk in where they collect the tickets that you walk in, the main line, you've got Handy Quilter in 4 booths with all their machines. On this side, you've got us in 2 booths with a sign that says your machine's only as good as your retailer.
But you gotta have the right people.
So, yes, we are not shy about it. Judy raised her hand there. Go ahead, Judy, you can talk. But yeah, we are going to be very out in their face about it. So, all right, Judy.
Oh, I checked, and the ones I saw were March 15th.
Okay, March 15th. Do we know whether they get a notice when
Not
they're...
to my knowledge, because I manually send out the ones for concierge. Do you want me to go ahead and do that?
You can, but let's put it on our list to use something like Zapier. If we can automate and add that feature in there, I think it would be good on all of our subscriptions so that you don't have to babysit it.
Okay.
Just a thought. We should be able to automate it.
I'll be back home on Friday, and we can talk.
All right. So yes,
I don't know. You heard that. I'll be back home on Friday, and we can talk then.
yes.
Okay. Thanks.
Are you in your cruise ship right now, or
I am.
that's dedication? That's dedication. We have the best people. I'm not kidding. So, all right, tell your friends about this. Like I said, $250 for 6 months if they just want to give it a try. We've got $100 off for the year's worth, so it's only $400 instead of $500, which most people have done. And I will commit to you that Melissa and I and Adam here will try and make it well worth the money and stuff. I do want this to be something we can grow. And then if you guys are in a state where we've got people that might need a little hand, I'm not saying officially your technicians or anything, but I'm sure you could figure out how to time a friend's machine and
On some pain.
You know. Get a nice bottle of wine on the side or something. All right.
Paul, what's the best way for me to book that time with you?
Right on my website. Now, like I said, I need to go on right now and block out some of this time, but I've been leaving it open right now. You can book 2 hours with me, or at least an hour and a half. If you go to the support page, you can get on my calendar, and I'll just be honest.
I was thinking 5th of March, so not this week or next week or.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be the first week in March for something like that. But I think we can solve this problem for you. We'll figure it out.
I mean, is that hindering her ability to use her machine? Like, is it that much of a
Well, if it touches her fabric when the needle comes down, yeah, it's a hindrance. It affects your confidence on where that needle's gonna stop.
I know it's easy to fix, but like as in just moving your needle bar, but it's annoying.
No, we actually have it on video in our shop, stopping down and then Pro Stitcher trying to reposition and dragging a quilt.
Mm.
Not cool, as Adam puts
No.
it. So
Mhm.
it's a serious thing. So, all right, I appreciate it. And I want everybody here, when we start our next Google Meet, the only words I want to hear out of you first is turn on the recording, because I can't share it with other people if I forget, and I can't figure out a way to do it automatically with Google Meet. So I would appreciate that. All right, everyone, have a pleasant week. I am going to do my best in the next 24 hours to get the videos posted. I'm going to obviously host this on YouTube as an unlisted post, but I will put it in our forum, and I might put it in a lesson too. This gets into how we work it with what we've got here, but I'll make it available link in the forum so that you can find it easily, and it'll just run on YouTube because our forum will not host the videos linked into it. Otherwise, we have to put it in a course like Melissa does with her Q&A. So we'll figure out how we're going to run this. You can give me some feedback. All right. I see some smiling faces. I see some not so smiling faces. Come on. There we go. All right. I appreciate it. Remember, support at mkquilts.com. Go ahead and call if you have something urgent. Call a couple times. I am going to have Adam responsible for monitoring the inbox during these shows. So you can blame him if it doesn't happen. And I might ask Paco and others to do it too, if I can get them some training, because that's the other thing. But we have a system, and we'll try and make it work. All right. As my friends say, live long and prosper. See ya.